Give me a powerful story script for the title. 12 interpreters failed, but the poor cleaning lady spoke 8 languages, stunning the Mafia. The story script should be in 2 chapters, highly engaging and attractive. Make each chapter 5,000 words long, plain paragraph. Also motivate viewers to subscribe the channel. Chapter 1. In the shadowed heart of Manhattan's most exclusive skyscraper, where the night sky pressed against floor-to-ceiling windows like a silent witness, the air inside the penthouse suite hung heavy with the scent of aged whiskey, Cuban cigars, and raw, unspoken danger. Don Vito Rossi, the iron-fisted patriarch of the Rossi crime family, sat at the head of a gleaming ebony table that stretched 20 feet long, his broad shoulders filling a tailored black suit that cost more than most people earned in a year. His silver hair was slicked back, revealing a face carved by decades of violence and calculated mercy, eyes like chipped obsidian that had stared down death 100 times without blinking. Flanking him were his most loyal capos, men with scarred knuckles and shoulder holsters barely concealed beneath silk shirts, each one ready to turn the room into a slaughterhouse at the slightest nod from their don. Across the table sat Viktor Kuznetsov, the wolf of the Russian Bratva, a mountain of a man whose tattooed neck disappeared into a collar starched to perfection, his cold blue eyes scanning every face for weakness while his thick fingers drummed a silent rhythm of impatience on the polished wood. Beside Victor lounged Li Wei, the inscrutable dragon of the New York Chinese triad, slender and elegant in a charcoal suit that whispered money and menace, his thin lips curved in a perpetual half-smile that never reached his eyes. Completing the deadly quartet was Juan Morales, the lightning-fast kingpin of the Colombian cartel, gold chains glinting against his open silk shirt, his dark curls framing a face that could shift from charming smile to murderous snarl in the space of a heartbeat. These 4 men, each commanding empires built on blood and billions, had gathered to forge an alliance that would dominate the global underworld, arms shipments from Eastern Europe, cocaine routes through South America, heroin pipelines from Asia, and money laundering networks that spanned continents. The stakes were astronomical. A single successful year would generate more wealth than some small nations saw in a decade. But the deal demanded absolute precision in communication, coded references to drop points, percentages of purity, timelines measured in hours not days, veiled threats wrapped in polite language, and cultural idioms that could mean life or death if mistranslated. No single tongue could bridge them all, so they had summoned the finest 12 interpreters money could buy, flown in from Geneva, Beijing, Moscow, and Bogota, each one a linguistic virtuoso with clearances from governments and corporations alike. The first interpreter, a polished Frenchman named Pierre Laurent, stepped forward with the confidence of a man who had translated for presidents. Don Vito began in rolling Sicilian-inflected Italian, outlining the initial split of territories. Pierre rendered it smoothly into Russian for Victor, but when Victor replied in guttural Moscow street slang laced with coded Bratva jargon about the red cargo arriving under the Northern Star, Pierre's voice faltered, his face paling as the weight of armed men staring at him crushed his composure. He substituted Northern Star with a literal translation that made no sense in context, causing Victor to slam a fist on the table so hard the crystal glasses jumped. Accusations flew, guns half drawn, until Don Vito roared for silence and dismissed Pierre with a gesture that promised the man would never translate again if he valued his tongue. The second interpreter, a brilliant Mandarin English specialist from Hong Kong named Mei Lin, took her place, but when Li Wei spoke in rapid Cantonese mixed with ancient triad proverbs about the river flowing backward under the dragon's shadow, Mei froze, her knowledge of formal Mandarin useless against the dialect and code. She guessed wrong on the proverb, implying disrespect. And Li Wei's eyes narrowed to slits while his bodyguards shifted closer. One by one the failures mounted like bodies in a turf war. The third, an Arabic-Spanish expert, crumbled when Juan Morales switched mid-sentence from Colombian Spanish to a mix of Quechua street slang and cartel euphemisms for white gold, his translation turning a promise into an insult that nearly sparked flying lead. The fourth interpreter, a veteran UN linguist, simply sweated through his shirt, voice trembling so badly under the collective glare that he forgot basic conjugations and reduced complex financial terms to gibberish. The fifth suffered a sudden equipment failure, his high-tech earpiece shorted out from static caused by the penthouse's security jammers, leaving him mute and useless.